But really, all of those kinds of things just let us down in the end. There might be a little temporary hit, a little temporary feeling good or something, but at the end of the day, that just lets us down because it just masks what's going on beyond the surface.
Welcome to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that became their compass, helping you discover wisdom that speaks to your own journey. Today's guest is Matt Paradise, a financial educator and author whose path from homelessness to helping others transform their relationship with money shows us that our biggest struggles often become our greatest gifts. He's a bile-duct cancer survivor whose beliefs true worth goes far beyond numbers. It's about whole health living. Let's settle in and hear the words that helped guide Matt through his transformation. Tell me your name and what you do.
Hey, I'm Matt Paradise, and grateful to be here. Grateful to have a conversation that enriches the lives of listeners.
What do you do?
I am a speaker. I help organizations and their teams to have less financial stress so that they can increase productivity.
Yeah. What's your favorite quote?
There's a lot of favorite quotes, but the first one that really comes to mind to me that I've held near and dear over these past several years is that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance character, and character hope, and hope does not disappoint.
Suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character. Wait. Go right again, please.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Perseverance produces character, and character hope, and hope does not disappoint.
Oh, I thought I had suffering. I was wondering where suffering came from.
So the suffering was at the beginning. So suffering produces
I got that
perseverance.
Part. Okay.
Perseverance, character hope. Hope does not disappoint.
Oh, I just love for us to do a quick rundown of what each of those words actually mean. Could we start from the beginning?
So suffering comes in all different forms. We're people. No matter where we are in life, no matter where we are in the world, there's challenges and difficulties. Another quote that I love as well. This is a freebie, not my main quote, but an extra bonus quote is be kind to everyone because everyone's fighting a battle that we know nothing about. And kindness really is important. We all have suffering. We all have pain and challenges in life, no matter what, whether we have children, whether we're single, whether we're married, whether we're caring for our elders, whether we're young and trying to grow up in the world that has a lot of different challenges, difficulties. There's suffering, there's pain, but ultimately that challenge that we go through isn't empty, isn't hollow. It doesn't leave us. For me personally, why it's near and dear and the suffering that I've gone through over the past several years was bile duct cancer. Very rare, very aggressive form of cancer, but just about took my life. And I couldn't control everything around me, but I can control how I react to those things. I couldn't get rid of cancer on my own, but I could embrace the help that medical professionals could provide. And I could embrace faith and the idea that no matter how difficult and challenging life is, there's still joy.
Yeah. And ultimately, every other thing we cannot control. There is nothing we own. Your house can be taken away from you. People have kids, and then their kids are taken away from them. Ultimately, everything can be taken from us. The only thing we have, that even in the face of trouble, danger, and unfortunate circumstances, is how we react to it.
It's true.
Oh. So you shared suffering with us. Okay.
So perseverance, being able to get through that suffering, because nobody wants to just live life every day, day in, day out in pain and suffering, right? That challenge that we have is generally temporary. I mean, in the eternal scope of life, all pain is temporary and I won't live forever. But even something like cancer, it's temporary. I can't control whether or not I would live or die, and I don't know how much longer I'll have in this world, but I can get through it. And that doesn't mean that life just has to be miserable with the pain and suffering that exists. I can still find a way to get through it with joy. And ultimately, that's transformative. That mindset allows me to not just focus on me and my problems and my suffering, but when I can focus on living life with purpose and determine the best of what I have to give to others, well, then it's no longer about me and my suffering, but as I get through it, that develops my character. And for me, part of my character is living a life of service, living a life of purpose, because it's outward focus. It's not focused on me. If I sit around, I could think about every little pain and ache that my body has, and we all could, but that's not worth it. For me, I'd rather live life with gratitude and getting through that suffering with joy so that I can persevere, get through it, and in so doing, develop my character.
Oh, joking. If we persevere, we develop our character, and then when we develop our character, it gives us hope.
And hope never disappoints.
And hope never disappoints. Oh, when you say hope never disappoints, what exactly do you mean?
So hope in and of itself is the expectancy that our futures will be better than what they are now. Hope for things that we can't even see, right? That's faith. Faith is being certain of things that we can't even see. We can hope for that. And there's hope for a better, brighter future, always. Depression and difficulties, when we just think about suffering and can't see past that, and we are no longer persevering, our hope dwindles. And when we lack hope for an improved, a better future, the decisions that we generally make today in the present moment generally are not in the best interest of our future selves. And I know this for me personally. In my past, I have drug addiction and overdose, and I was a homeless teenager. And in deep depression, I didn't always have hope for a better future. I didn't picture living to see 20 years old. Others envisioned a better future for me and provided some extrinsic motivation and provided hope for a better future, one with less pain, one with joy despite circumstances. And sometimes we need other people, not sometimes, we always need people in our lives. And I know you're in Nigeria, around the world. I'm in Massachusetts, and here we have the Boston Celtics. And Doc Rivers did not invent or come up with the quote. It's actually an African proverb, but the quote and the idea of Ubuntu was something that Doc Rivers used with the Boston Celtics. The idea that translated, I am because you are. We are inextricably connected. I need you, even from around the world. We can have this conversation, encourage and inspire others, and bring hope to listeners.
Oh.
We exist because of each other.
Oh, perseverance, great character, and character creates hope, and hope for a better life.
It doesn't disappoint.
Doesn't disappoint. Thank you for sharing that, Matt.
My pleasure, man. Thank you.
Earlier on, you gave us a freebie, and you said, be kind to others because you do not know what they're going through, something like around that lines. Yeah, and I know it's, if I should ask this question, it will seem pretty basic, but one of the things I don't like to assume is to assume that I know this thing, right? Sometimes you think you know something, but then they tell you like, no, that's not really it. Or maybe you feel you know it, but you realize that, I knew part of it, but not exactly the whole picture. I want to step back a bit. When you say kindness, what does that mean? Because there's so many things that could be looked into. For example, people have good intentions, but sometimes their actions speak otherwise. Sometimes people have good actions, but then their intention is just evil. And so what exactly is kindness in the context of the quote?
Yeah, I think certainly words are important and powerful. Actions speak louder than words still. Like you said, we could say one thing and say words that sound kind, but in reality, maybe it's backstabbing or hurting somebody with other actions or not following through and being people of our word with conviction. Ultimately, being kind is rooted, for me personally, in love and caring about other people enough that I consider even their needs above my own. And it's a selfless kind of thing. It's a kindness that speaks volumes by action and only sometimes needs words. But sometimes I have a friend today that just learned that his dad is passing.
Ooh,
and now just trying to keep him comfortable. And there are no real words that can take that pain away. But I can be there as a friend, and I can show my kindness even with my presence. Sometimes it's just a hug. Sometimes it's from a distance, even a text to know that, hey, I'm here for you. I'm thinking about you. I'm with you. And as you grieve, I feel that pain with you and being empathetic. So kindness can show itself in all different forms depending on the circumstance, but it, for me, is rooted in love. And not love, like you said.
Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
Love is one of those things as well that is thrown around in all different ways, but love is always kind. Love also perseveres. Love is a verb. Love is an action and shown. It's not in so many ways that can be twisted to sound good or sound like it's the right thing to say. Only from a selfless point of view, love is never selfish. Love is always giving of ourselves to others. And again, for me, my purpose is to have the best of what I have to give in service to others.
Oh, thanks for explaining it so simply. Oh, kind to others because you don't even know what you're going through. I feel like in this world, a lot of persons are now. Of course, there are people who, you're aware of what they're going through, but sometimes people. Okay, yes, the scenario I want to paint. Sometimes you're not kind to people, but it doesn't mean you're wicked to them, right? We could have an interaction where something happens, and I don't even say anything, right? I don't call you names. I don't insult you. I don't do any of those things, right? I don't do quote unquote the wicked thing. But then, I don't even say I'm not kind. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
there are days where we don't necessarily hurt people, but we just pass through their life. We encounter them, but it's not like we try to say, I'm going to harm them. I'm going to make sure they have a terrible day and stuff like that. But we don't go out of our way to say, okay, I'm just going to make sure they smile. I'm going to make sure they're happy today because they met me, or we interact, right? And everybody has their everybody has their own issues they're dealing with. You say that you don't know what everybody's going through. And sometimes people are just like, try to comport themselves and make sure that everything's okay. And when they meet other people, they interact with them. They're not terrible. They don't lash out, but they usually they would have smiled and say, how are you doing? Hope everything's okay. Or they would have maybe a co-worker who didn't show up at work, and they're like, how's everything going? Call and maybe visit and say, what's happening? Is everything okay? Right? They don't do that, right? They stay on their lane, and when the hopefully they hope that the coworker shows up the next day or the next and if they do, they're like, oh yeah, welcome, and that's it, right? So for me, I just want to like look back and go, why is it that sometimes we don't go out of our way to like be kind?
I think each of us has to answer that question for ourselves. I can answer it for me. Sometimes I just get frustrated. Things don't go my way, and I start to get in my own head. Maybe it's overthinking a problem that I need to try to solve, and I'm so in my head and so focused on me that I'm not even aware of the people around me. And sometimes maybe I'm driving in traffic and I honk at another person or cut somebody off in traffic. And even if I don't do it intentionally, that doesn't still mean that the action didn't happen. I did that, and it could scare somebody or frustrate somebody. Maybe they're an anxious driver, and that could throw a wrench in their whole morning and be frustrating to them. So sometimes the things that we do are inadvertent. Sometimes I get frustrated and it hurts the people closest to me. So for me, I have a wife and I have a son, and sometimes I'm just short in my reply or answer because maybe I'm stressed about whatever that it is, different things at different times, because I have an appointment and I need to get there as soon as possible and make sure that I'm on time. I can be stressed trying to rush through that. And on my way today, spilled some coffee as an example. It's no fault of anybody else's, but my frustration sometimes spills over and affects the people closest to me. And it's possible listeners might be able to relate to that. And sometimes maybe our actions spill over from what's going on inside of us. Maybe it's frustration, maybe it's worry, stress, anxiety, whatever that it is. All of those different feelings, when they go uncontrolled, they come out. They come out whether it's in words that are less than kind, or less than loving, or maybe it's even in actions and trying to hurry and not being aware of others around us.
Oh, yeah, I like the fact that you said we all have to answer that, because most of the time we 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 try to go through the world as much as possible, but not even leave our footprints on anybody. And that for me, it's, people, as you said earlier on, people are just they're going through a lot, and we can't really tell, because if it was easy to tell, we say, okay, yeah, I'm going to smile more. I mean, this person just like that.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not even losing that. Sometimes it's things that there is no way you could possibly tell that they're going through that, and so you don't even know. And sometimes they might even be laughing with you, and like you're cracking a joke,
Mhm. Yeah,
whereas they're having a terrible day, and they're just trying to mask everything so that nobody feels.
it's true. And sometimes it takes someone who cares enough to ask the question of those around us, whether it's, like you said, a coworker or other people. We all know that we deal with difficult things, with challenges, that we have hurts and pains. And I know for me, sometimes I can go through my day just in a rush, in a hurry, and not really ask and get to know the people that I'm interacting with. It takes a level of care and concern to actually be curious enough to take the time and ask, hey, how are you really doing? Not like, how's the weather or how are sports or whatever stuff that are, it's easier to talk about, but how are you really doing? How are you feeling? Maybe we saw somebody at work that had a difficult interaction and had some feelings that carried over. Well, we could, how are you really feeling about that? And I don't know, as a guy, I sometimes have a hard time talking about my feelings. Sometimes I ask my wife, like, what do you think I was feeling about that? And I need a little bit of help. It doesn't always come natural to me. And sometimes it's awkward to just ask that question, how are you feeling? Because one, it takes a level of care and concern for me to even ask that question, that I want to actually hear the answer. If I ask it in a hurry, hoping that somebody just gives that quick answer, oh, I'm good. Okay, bye. See ya. And never even ask or go deeper. Well, that's not a real deep heart level type interaction. That doesn't make me closer to that person or knowing what it is that they're going through. Maybe I can help, maybe not. But I think that kindness that we were talking about earlier does beg of us even just to care enough. Not to say that we always have time to stop and interact deeply with everybody around us, but when we do have the opportunity to actually take it, to actually care enough, because again, we're in this thing together. We're all on this rock called Earth, and as people, we need each other. I need other people, and I need other people to care enough to ask me, yo, how's it going? Like, how are you really doing? I know you had that difficult operation a few weeks ago. Like, how's it going? How are you feeling going through all of that? And sometimes I don't want to deal with it. And that's where, for a lot of people around the world, addictions and things like that come in. We don't want to deal with those feelings. We don't want to go there. It's difficult. It's hard. It's painful. So we try to numb it with something else. Maybe it's drugs. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's just like checking out, listening to music for 8 hours and ignoring our other responsibilities. Or maybe it's gambling, or maybe it's retail therapy and shopping and buying something in hopes of feeling better. But really, all of those kinds of things just let us down in the end. There might be a little temporary hit, a little temporary feeling good or something, but at the end of the day, that just lets us down because it just masks what's going on beyond the surface.
Yeah, thank you much, Matt. One of the things I feel that makes everything really, really bad is the fact that people ask the questions how,
Mhm.
but they don't want,
Yeah.
and you can see it, right? While they're asking, that these people, they're not ready for answer. They don't even care to know the answer, right? And I know most times, yeah, but we're humans, we all can see. And so most of the times people want to now they're like, no, no. I mean, you're not willing to hear. You just asking, so people say you ask those questions and they feel that you're kind. No, because people want to be seen as kind
Hmm.
instead of being, right? And they're
True.
two different things.
I agree. Yeah. And
Thank you so
sometimes
much, Matt.
sometimes we might not even have the time or even the emotional capacity in the moment to really answer honestly, openly. And maybe it takes like, yo, I appreciate you asking. I don't have time to really discuss that now, but how about we catch up later? and actually sit down like over a cup of coffee. Or maybe we could kind of flip the script a little bit and ask like, oh, that's interesting. This I don't always get that question. Why do you ask? And it might, root out a little something. The reason why they're asking, is it just because it's in passing and they want to just look good? Or is it because there's something deeper? Maybe they really want to express some hurts and pains themselves, but nobody asked them. So they're just asking quickly in hopes of an opportunity to share what it is that they're feeling. Because again, we all have difficult, challenging stuff that we're going through, and most people have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Oh, once again, thank you so much, Matt, for sharing your favorite quotes with me and helping me make.
My pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity to share and talk. And I know we started going off on little bonus dessert type quotes as well. But that suffering, we can find joy in it because it produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope never disappoints.
Oh, thanks for reiterating that. What do you do, and where can people learn more about you?
I'm a speaker and an author. So I help organizations and their employees to overcome financial stress, build whole health wealth so that they can become more productive. You can find me on my website, mattparadise.com, and hit me up on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, once again, thank you so much for being an absolute delight.
My pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity, and I've enjoyed speaking with you too.
You've been listening to Relatable Wisdom, and I've been your host, Wisdom Okonkwo. You've been listening to the podcast where every story, quote, and insight helps you see life a little differently. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the show on your favorite podcast app and share it with someone who loved the conversation. For more inspiring voices and timeless wisdom, visit relatablewisdom.com. Until next time, keep living, learning, and collecting wisdom that matters most to you.